songwriting, it's a skill and it's also a natural gift. I think some people are given a gift of being able to be creative, and it's a kind of a certain part of your brain, and it's definitely an acquired skill. Like, I think what separates the amazing songwriters from the ones that aren't are just really practicing and honing your craft.
I studied for 2 years at the London School of Sound, where I did music production, sound technology, sound engineering, producing for songwriters, top lining. Before I went there, I used to make music using different programs like Fruit Loops, acoustical music, where I used to just sing random stuff over everyone's songs. But when I went to London School of Sound, all of my work was to make instrumentals of different genres that I would never have usually made before. I would have probably only made hip hop and R&B, whereas they'd be like, make a folk track, make a dubstep track, make a pop song, make a cheesy pop song, write songs from the point of view of the opposite sex. That was important in me getting to where I am at the moment, because at the moment I sell instrumentals and people just tell me what they want. They'll say, I want a dubstep track in the vein of Skrillex, Bangarang. And then that will be my reference track, and then I have to make a whole different track based on that song. So that was great for me in terms of getting out of just making one genre of music. It's kind of true in a way that anyone can make a song in terms of maybe the lyrics that come out of some artists' mouths these days. Kesha.
A lot of people really think like, well, I could do that. I get a lot of that, especially with rap. Like, every second kid in high school is like, man, yo, I could be a rapper, and I got skills. And it's just, it's like anything in life, not just in the arts. Athletics, it's probably the biggest one where you can see the real truth, which is if you want to be as good, let's say, as Tiger Woods. I golf, but I'm horrible at it because I never practice. But when you watch TV, the beauty of art and athletics is the people who do it well make it effortless. So the problem is me at the other side of that goes, I could do that because they make it look easy.
Yeah, the direction of becoming a musician or becoming a songwriter is one of collaboration. I mean, undoubtedly, even if you're a solo artist, you're going to be working with other engineers, other musicians, other things like that. So it's really important that you take coursework in music and music theory, and in order to have a common vocabulary to interact and collaborate with other people. So without the basic vocabulary, without the understanding of music, a deep understanding of music, you're not going to be able to effectively collaborate with the best and brightest musicians that the world has to offer.
People do think they can just write anything because of people who are famous like on YouTube. I do think that is a reason people think they can just do anything if they don't even really put a little effort into it. Like it's been that way with me before. Like people doing these things, I was like, oh, that's easy, I could do that and get 1 million views. But now that I think about it, it does take effort and time. Well, with me, I don't really write music, I just do everything by ear or what I feel. And then these people who think they can write anything, even though they only think they can, but in reality, if they try, they can't. Because I thought in like 6th grade, I was about to start writing a song, like writing lyrics, and I couldn't think of anything that was fitting or anything, or like I couldn't get expression into it. I think is the problem, and I had never done it before.
Social networking is literally amazing in terms of spreading your music, because all it takes is one person to tweet your track to their 100 followers, and then one of their followers to retweet your track to their 100 followers, and you've already got a kind of a kind of fan base going.
A lot of kids, they post a bunch of videos on YouTube and they get maybe even 5 million hits, 10 million hits, and they think, now I'm famous, this is it, this is my career. But the reality is, you know, it doesn't always necessarily monetize. And, you know, at the end of the day, it is a business and you got to feed your family, especially as you get older. It might be fun to be a YouTube sensation, you know, when you're in your early 20s and you don't have a family to feed. And that being said, yes, there is money that you can make by just strictly having a lot of hits on YouTube, by being a YouTube partner and sharing in advertising revenues. But it's not life-changing money, so you have to monetize your art, and you have to monetize it beyond the internet. And it's a really strange phenomenon, and this is going on in my life right now as a record label and trying to figure out who we should sign and who we shouldn't sign. And there's this interesting phenomenon how some artists can monetize outside of the YouTube environment, and some are just always meant to be a YouTube sensation. Every few years there was always that novelty song, and the people who wrote that song and performed those songs became millionaires, some of them, just because of the novelty. I always call it the stuff that the public loves to hate. And yeah, that's what it just, you love to hate it. I'm guilty about it too. I'll be like, oh, the Rebecca Black song, that's horrible. Let me hear it again. No, that's horrible. No, let me hear it again. I think that's just human nature. Now these people, the smart ones, they see an opportunity and they once again, they monetize it. They figure out a way to take this moment in the sun and, you know, turn it into some cash. I don't know if it's necessarily what I would want, because that kind of fame is fleeting. It goes by quickly, so you'd have to really know what you're doing.
There's a lot that goes into writing a song. I mean, I spend hours of my day just trying to tweak drums to sound more realistic or to sound less realistic, depending on what sound I need. I would say I spend at least 36 hours a week making background. The lyrics as well, they're difficult at best, depending on what your subject matter is. Someone once told me that every great song ever written is about love, heartbreak, or self-discovery. And I feel like that's true.
When I'm writing songs to this day, it's tough. You're not always right, but it does get better with time. I remember writing my first lyrics, you know, in my teens, and, you know, I love you, what rhymes with you? You may, but sometimes you make me blue. When I think of you, chicken stew. I mean, just silly. But as you get older, your ability to think outside the box, manipulate the formulaic type of writing that you tend to do when you're young, you just grow.
You know, when you think about, you know, music historically, and you think about, you know, amazing singers, you know, whether you're looking at Ella Fitzgerald or you know, Bessie Smith, or, you know, some amazing vocalists, you know, you went out and you got that record and you purchased a voice, you purchased a talent. But now it's not just the talent that labels or people are looking at. They're looking for a whole product. You're purchasing not just an incredible album when you purchase a Beyonce album or something like that. You're purchasing her whole presence, her whole look, everything about who that person is. You know, people want to know what Beyonce ate for breakfast, you know, let alone, you know, what's happening on the next record. So I think that as a musician is looking to develop in this day and age, that there has to be a real focus put upon not only that the music is outstanding, that has to come first without a doubt, and that's a given if you're looking to get signed to a record or to a label or to become a successful independent musician. On top of that, you're going to have to be thinking about your image and your public relations. You're going to have to be a people person. You're going to have to be able to sit through and do 7 interviews in the same day with the same questions and treat each one as well as you can.
I even have to listen to music that I don't like, and I have to kind of respect it on a surface level, otherwise I'm going to be out of date. Like, as a producer, my sound's going to not be conducive to what's going on today, because, I don't know, let's say I'm a 55-year-old producer and I had tons of hits in the 80s, and I was with like glamour rock bands. I know all of a sudden there's Katy Perry records out there that are done by Dr. Luke, and the drums are real tight, the vocals are really pitched with auto-tune, and it's got a certain sound. Well, whether I'm right or wrong in the sense of saying, that music sucks, back in my day we didn't have auto-tune, we didn't have all that fancy equipment. Well, that's what the kids are listening to today. So you either get with the program and embrace what is top 40 and learn to play ball and kind of be political somewhat. You still got to have a soul and do what you love. But if you're not being sympathetic and you're not listening to what's current, you're going to die and you're going to have a short career.
If you can share with somebody some of those most inner parts of your being, the inner parts of your psyche and your mind, and put it in 3 minutes, put it in 4 minutes, and have somebody else listen and say, yeah, I get it. That's a deeper connection that you can have maybe with some of your closest friends, and this is with people that you've never met.
If you ever get the opportunity to watch someone else create a song, it's a pretty amazing thing.
I think that, you know, being a musician is very romantic. I mean, the idea of playing shows and having people sing the words that you wrote is very alluring to people to want to, you know, be a musician, write a song, and the best musicians make it look really, really easy, but it's not. Writing a song can take hundreds and hundreds of hours. It's a labor of love. You know, for a person who says to me, you know, I'm interested in becoming a musician, I say, are you ready to work harder at something than you ever had in your whole life?